Welcome back, everybody. In this tutorial, I'll be going over some of the basic options you can change in Internet Explorer to personalize it and maximize your experience with the browser. Let's begin. I'm going to go to the window that I already have open. So here's Internet Explorer. And as you can see, it's opening up to my home page, which is msn.com. Now for me, I don't like this to be my home page for a couple reasons. One, I don't want to see the latest celebrity news. I could care less about that. Two, it opens up so much information here that sometimes it takes a while to load. It's got this scrolling banner at the top, it's got images, it's got all this text, so sometimes if you have a lot going on, it'll take a while to load. Now for this, it's not too long because it's just a banner and images and a bit of text, but if you had like a flash video or other things moving around within the window, then it's going to cause it to delay in processing and updating the site and so forth. So what we want to do is go to a home page that is easy to open, it's quick, and doesn't have a lot of things going on. So we could definitely personalize that and other things. So let's go to Internet Options here. In the top right hand corner, you want to click on this cogwheel. It'll take you to the tools. So from here, we'll go to Internet Options. And this is where we begin to modify some of the changes here. So on the General tab, we want to start off with the home page. Here, we're going to change our home page. I like to use Google personally because it's pretty clean. There's really not much going on the page. It's the first thing I really do when I get online is I want to search for something. So Google is my primary defaulted home page that I like to use. Let's click OK just to show you what happens. So we're going to click on the home button here to refresh this. And there you go. We're now at Google. So like I said, it's clean. There's nothing going on here. It's just a couple bit of text here, some buttons, nothing that's going to take it forever to load. All right. So let's go back. Internet Options. And let's continue through the rest of this. So here to start up, you could tell it to start up at the home page or start up from the last session that you had, meaning that the last pages that you visited before you exited the last time you were on this is what's going to come up this next time around. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like to do that. It just opens up so many pages because when I'm done browsing the web, I'm 3-4 pages in and there's things flying all over the place. So I like to start off fresh. So I'm just going to leave that there. I'm not even going to touch the tabs right now. I like the way it's displayed. So you could go ahead and change settings here, but I recommend for everyday basic users, don't mess around with this unless you know what you're doing. So under browsing history, here's where you could change some of the items that are deleted. You could do it automatically or you could do it manually. Now here is the automatic way you could do it, deleting browser history on exit. So when you exit the browser, it's going to automatically dump all this data, your personal data that you have saved, any passwords, usernames, history of visited sites, so forth. It'll dump it all when you exit the browser. Or you could do it manually by clicking on this delete button here. And here you could tell it what you want to delete. You could do the history only, you could do maybe cookies, temporary internet files. And cookies it gives you a brief description of what that is, which is files that are saved on your computer that have information of websites you visited and so forth. So if you want to hit delete, it'll process for a little bit. Depending on how much information you have, it might take anywhere from a few seconds to maybe a minute or two. Okay, so next item we'll go to security. And again, I'm going through the basic items that a day-to-day user that's not too tech savvy would change within the browser. I'm not going to go into detail with every little thing you could change because Then we get into advanced functions where you could really get into trouble if you don't know what you're doing. You could totally ruin the browser and you won't be able to use it unless you restore it to its default settings again. All right, so going back to security, here you could change the level of security that you have on your browser. Now it's set to medium high, which is pretty good. I like it, and I don't mess around with it unless I feel that I need to increase it because I'm getting some weird websites coming up or something that I really don't want to show up. Maybe your kids are using it and you want to set the security level higher because they're more prone to accidentally getting into sites that they shouldn't be able to get to. But for now, let's leave it on medium high. But again, here's where you could change that. Under privacy, you could also change it here. Some of the stuff that comes in through the websites you could block and increase the level to block all cookies or block certain things. But there's another way to do it. This block up popper is as a default turned on, but you could turn that off on certain sites, or if you want and you know the addresses of the sites and you trust them, maybe it's a banking site you go to and you always get pop-ups there, then maybe you want to allow the pop-ups for that site so you don't get a message saying that it was blocked or something was prevented from showing up, or it just doesn't load properly because your browser blocked it. We can go ahead and type in the address. Let's do chase.com. You could add that there, and there you go. It's on your allowed list, so any block-ups that or pop-ups that come up here will not be blocked. Okay, so moving on. I won't get into content and connection, being that that's for more advanced users. And again, you don't want to be messing around here if you don't know what you're doing, so let's skip that for now. Under programs, I do want to touch on one item here, which is the top part. Now, say Internet Explorer is not your default browser. Say you were using Firefox or Chrome. Here's where you could set it to your default browser. You just click on this little box and voila, it's done. But for now, I'm going to leave this alone because I don't want this to be my default browser. In advanced, you want to leave this alone unless you know what you're doing. Okay, don't even bother touching this because you'll just mess something up and it's not going to work for you. What I do want to touch on is this bottom part here. So say you went against my recommendations and did whatever you wanted and started messing around, clicking buttons here and there, adding links and other things all over the place within these tabs. And you find that when you're done, after you've applied and okayed everything, you find yourself surfing through the web and you notice that some sites don't come up properly, or something's being blocked, or you can't even surf the web altogether. Well, you've messed something up and now you don't know how to fix it. Well, what you can do is click on this reset button and it'll reset everything back to the default settings that it will set to in the very beginning. This will save you from pulling your hair out and trying to figure out which checkbox you checked or what address you entered and what you did wrong. You could just reset it and start fresh again. Alright, so that's about it. Thank you for watching. Feel free to comment on this video and subscribe to my channel. You can do this to view more tutorial videos. Thank you.